as the 23rd day of August draws near, I have lots of updates that are unveiling about the true identity of who Bola Ahmed Tinibu is. And I also have lots of secrets that are being unfolded or revealed about what encountered during the election period between lots of public officers. And I told you what, we will continue to bring you these updates so that you will be in the know of what is happening in the country. My name is Angelo, your anchor, and this is Nation Voice Tower. Now, first of all, let me go further to what is at hand. I have something about Professor Mahmoud Yakubu and a confirmation to the fact that he really helped to rig the 2023 elections. You know, we've been saying Mahmoud did this, Mahmoud collected money, and so on. Apart from some kind of secrets that are being revealed recently on this particular channel, we've never established a very strong link, and here is the link. So pick a seat and sit back. Let me explain everything, and you will now confirm how Professor Mahmoud Yakubu really rigged the election in favor of Bola Tinibu. Now, from my source, this source is actually from INEC, inside INEC. Now, listen. Information Minister, can you listen to me? Information Minister Mohammed Idris is INEC chairman's nominee. That is what my source termed this particular expose as. Now, let me explain what he means. As part of the compensation for rigging the 2023 presidential elections in favor of Bola Tinubu, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, nominated Alhaji Mohammed Idris Malagi for a ministerial position. Yes, Idris, who is a long-time friend of the INEC chairman, is the go-between and the mediator between Mahmoud Yakubu and Bola Tinubu. He provided his house most of the time as a meeting ground for Tinibu and Yakubu before and after the 2023 presidential elections. Are you now getting these things straight? Are you getting the information straight and knowing where it's coming from? Now, as a result of a reward, okay, as a result of what happened during the elections and the part Mahmoud played, Bola Tinubu thought it wise. Let me say thank you, because that was the agreement. Apart from the money, let me say thank you to you for this particular job well done. You will give me one person so that I will make him a minister, so that you will get contracts through him, and then he will be the link for you to be always you to always have access to me. And that is why Mohammed Idris came on board, because that is the role he is playing now. He is not just the information minister. Of course, before he was made minister, Mohammed Idris Malagi, he was a Nigerian publisher and a public relations professional, but now he has been confirmed as the minister designate for information and national orientation. That means the job and the deal is done, dusted, and sealed. So he will be in the government as the eye of Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, and he is specified, or he is located, or he is mounted on the Ministry of Information, so that anything coming in from anywhere will be halted by him before it goes to anywhere. He must know any sort of thing that is happening about any sort of revolt, any sort of international sanction or so on. He would always know, because he is the Minister of Information and National Orientation. Please mark that word, national orientation. Yes, now secondly, I have something quite very strong. I will call this unveiling of the fraud called Bola Tinubu Part 3. I've given you Part 1, I've given you Part 2, and I'm bringing you Part 3. So stay tuned. Now, this particular secret is a revelation or a continuation or a sequel from the issue of the Chicago State University certificate that has been going on for a while now, between Atiku Abubakar and Bola Ahmed Tinibu. Of course, I brought you updates that Atiku Abubakar had written a request to the CSU, that's Chicago State University, to let him have access to the final results or the college results of Bola Tinubu, since the president Bola Tinubu claimed that he had attended Chicago State University. Now listen to a very direct source. This source is based in Chicago, somewhere around the environments of the university, and this source has actually worked in Chicago, in that Chicago State University, for a very, very long while now. All right, so there were actually 5 that were longest serving domestic staff in the Chicago State University, but this particular man retired like 10 to 14 years ago, names withheld, so that you won't trace my source. And then he had this information for me. He said, documents produced by Chicago State University, CSU, said the Bola Tinubu, who listen to this very, very importantly, please, so that you share these videos and make it go viral. Documents produced by Chicago State University, CSU, said the Bola Tinubu who attended that institution is a citizen of the US. Can you hear this? Furthermore, while the Bola Tinubu who contested the 2023 presidential elections, as we know, said in his INEC form he has always been a Nigerian and has never adopted any other nationality. So it's either he was lying in that form he submitted to INEC, thereby being convicted for perjury, or he said the truth in that or in the certificate, or he really has a US passport and he's a citizen of the US. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it's either he's a citizen of the US, or he didn't really attend Chicago State University and he's claiming that he attended, you know, and he has committed perjury by that, by submitting a very wrong form and wrong information to INEC. Secondly, documents provided by Chicago State University said the Bola Tinubu who attended that institution was born in 1954. But the Bola Tinubu who contested the presidential election and won, and well, I'll not say he won, the Bola Tinubu who contested the presidential election and was announced as president and contested during the 25th February election, said in his INEC form that he was born in 1952. Can you now see where I'm going to? Thirdly, now listen, this is very, very strong, so listen attentively. Thirdly, documents provided by Chicago State University said the Bola Tinubu who applied to that institution submitted a prior transcript from Southwest College identifying as a female. Do you now understand where that rumor came before the elections, when they said there was a document that carried Bola Tinubu's name as a female, his gender as a female, and so on? People swept it under the carpet, thinking we would not remember. The internet does not forget, so we will never forget. Now listen. Number 4, documents produced by the Chicago State University said the Bola Tinibu who attended that institution graduated from Government College in Lagos in 1970. Listen, in 1970. But our own Bola Tinubu, who contested the 2023 presidential elections, did not indicate any secondary schools in his form. Remember, I told you in my expose called Exposing the Fraud, called Bola Tinubu Part 2, said that even in Wikipedia, Google it now, he said he attended children's home somewhere in Ibadan, which was supposedly supposed to be his secondary school. We have never linked Bola Tinubu to any school called, or any secondary school called Government College, Lagos. So, we have a grip now. That means we are getting somewhere. This is why the Chicago State University want to release the results. They don't want to even know anything happening to anybody. They want to release the results so that they would really expose the fact that Bola Tinibu has gotten it wrong this time around. So stay tuned for my next update. The truth remains that we will continue to talk until we see that change is perfected in Nigeria. Before I go further, let me give you this update. The PDP have spoken finally. Yes, in as much as lots of parties are saying Bola Tinibu has gotten governance wrong, Bola Tinibu has done this, he has done that, the PDP has finally come out face to face to tell him he is doing the wrong thing. Representing the PDP and himself, Segun Shoumi, one of the biggest political warheads of the People's Democratic Party and one of the members of the Governing Council and National Working Committee from the Southwest, has called out the government of Bola Ahmed Tinibu, and he has spoken about lack of preparation, number one, confusion, lots of confusion, and in fact, he has said they don't even know what they are doing in the government, because you can't actually take 5 billion naira worth of palliative and pass it to the state through governors. He cited an example saying it's just like giving a fish to the cat to serve the rats. Of course, as if you don't know that the cat was going to or has the tendencies of eating the fish instead of giving it to the rat, or as if you don't know that the cat can actually eat the rat and not even give him the fish finally. So what are you saying? Are you not going back to the same circle, vicious circle of poverty? Are you not circulating this money in a way? Why are you giving governors 5 billion? Why don't you have a better means to share them? Why don't you go on a better way to either deregulate or find a better source of distributing these monies to people's accounts other than using governors? You've gotten it wrong there. Let me allow you watch this video so that you will listen to the press conference granted by Segun Shoumi instead of himself and instead of the PDP. Stay tuned.
I've titled it APC's 48 Imprudent Ministers of Nigeria. With a rider, Atiku Okowa's PDP cabinet would have been lean and more equitable. You will notice there I've said to call the ministerial lineup dismal, elephantine, and imprudent is putting it mildly. It is clear that this government wishes to adopt a rigged strategy, not in poker, but in the bragging that tries to mask crass ill-preparedness, flip-flopping around issues, and deep psychopathic I don't care attitude. First, should the government be that large at a time when a lean cabinet seems more needful given the financial state of the country? Can a nation be in dire strait and those who created the financial and governance mess, the APC, be shoving it in our faces as though we have become a captured nation with no way out of the slavery of helplessness? The flip-flopper in chief, their government and their cabinet, has started changing the portfolio even before they started the original assignment. You are all aware that they had a different minister for transportation, and then just a few hours they changed that. They didn't have Niger Delta Ministry, and just indicative of trial by error and lack of preparation. Not much has changed in the recycled status quo, resembling the same of same, and the most notorious bullies among them having the undeserved right to add to the misery of the people in some sad reality of gangsterism in the new order. I'm sure you must have heard some of their ministers and the kinds of indecorous bully tactics and language they have displayed even on the very first day in office. The big issue before the nation in no particular order are accountability and justice, stabilizing the naira, security, national cohesion, the economy, that is jobs, national reorientation, to mention but a few. In the last near 42 or so days, our henchman has demystified himself. President Bola Ahmed Tinibu has demystified himself and whatever toga of competence that they have mounted. Unfortunately, they neither allowed the media to ask questions during the campaign, nor allowed sober interrogation of the issues by stakeholders, who seem to have been hoodwinked with irrelevancies as against asking the critical questions. They have now resorted to bragging and rake and policy somersault. The biggest joke is a palliative of rice and wholesale delivery of 5 billion in the direction of state governors, which to my mind is like giving the fish to a cat for onward delivery to the rat. That must be truly brilliant indeed. Like you expect that the rat will be able to question the fish, the cat, what happened to the fish, or like you do not know that the cat itself has a penchant for eating fish. They have not accepted that either you deregulate or you take your hands off pricing of petroleum products, or you interfere with it like they have done in a veiled return to subsidy which they claim they are unable to sustain. What a confused lot. It's either you are deregulating and allowing market forces to work, or you are interfering. There's no middle ground. Now the other one is the I&E window, floating of the forex by CBN. It's unfortunately not yielding anything but misery. Typical of people who act before they think in a knee-jerk trial and error manner, some kind of voodoo economics. Oh, I forgot. They have no capability or interest in figuring out and placing consequences on those who ran forex aground.
Alright, you've watched the video there, and I will not have much to say. Well done, Shegun Showumi, for pointing out the faults of Bola Ahmed Tinibu. But we wouldn't love to commit offenses that are sub judice, so we'll wait for the tribunal so that they will be able to sort out what they have to sort out and make justice served at the Court of Appeal, come whatever date they have chosen to really give judgment as regards the ongoing petition filed by your party and the Labour Party respectively. Let me urge our viewers, please don't forget to like our videos. I bet you what, you will not regret liking these particular videos. Then share them, please. I'm not seeing this being shared. Share this video to everybody. You belong to social media platforms, you belong to WhatsApp groups, you belong to Facebook groups. Share them everywhere. If you have the privilege to know this information, many people don't have the privilege to know this information, so please do well to serve this information everywhere. And then drop a comment for us in the comment section so we'll improve with your comments. And then finally, if you're watching me for the first time, follow this channel and go and subscribe on YouTube. Nation Voice Tower, that's the name. Then if you've been watching me, please tap the notification bell so that anytime I drop a new video, you will be able to have a grip on it quickly. Now, finally, over the issue of the coup d'etat by the junta in Niger Republic, it's no longer news that some envoys in the person of former General Abdusalami Abubakar and his colleagues were sent as envoys to Niger Republic to, see how they could dialogue and bring peace and settlement between the military junta and President Mohamed Bazoum. But news reaching us today and with video evidence, it says that former General Abdusalami Abubakar, the envoy, and his colleagues came back to see the president and give him updates. They felt positive about the whole thing, and they said with the way the junta received them and they spoke at length, there is hope of dialogue and there is hope for peace. Of course, nobody wants war, so let's also listen to the horse himself as he gives us a breakdown of what conspired in the Niger Republic. Stay tuned.
As you are aware, the ECOWAS heads of state have made me an envoy to Niger Republic, and over the weekend we were there to see the military people and discuss to find the way out of the lacuna we find ourselves. So that's why I'm here this afternoon, together with the president of the ECOWAS Commission, to give a report back to Mr. President on our discussion in Niger. I must say that our visit to Niger has been very fruitful, and that it has opened an avenue to start talking, and hopefully we will get somewhere. Well, like I said, we started talking. We made their own points, and then I made my report to the chairman of the ECOWAS heads of state and president. He will now consult with his colleagues, and then the ding-dong starts, and we'll get somewhere, hopefully.
So is there any possibility of the war? As in, can we sail through this without military?
Hopefully, diplomacy will see the better of this thing. Nobody wants to go to war. It doesn't pay anybody. But then again, you know, our leaders have said, if all fails, and I don't think all will fail, we'll get somewhere. We'll get out of this mess.
Okay, welcome back. From the way he was speaking there, I don't think he was pessimistic, but he will always be like that because he's talking to the media. So let's hope that what he's saying is the truth and should be something to go by, so that we'll bring back peace to Africa and see that everything goes right. But if you ask me, I would say the junta are actually trying to bring a sort of stable governance to their country instead of allow corrupt leaders like President Bassoum continue to take over the resources of the country for illicit and for envious and for personal reasons. Thank you so much for staying with us. Make sure you keep faith with us in my next video. See you next time. Bye.